What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Friday, March 31st. I don't know why I almost said October 31st. It is Friday, March 31st, 2023. It is the last Friday of the month, so you know what that means. It is Freestyle Friday, but not just any Freestyle Friday. As y'all can see by the thumbnail and by the title, we are celebrating 60,000 subscribers here on this channel. We have reached yet another milestone. The last time I did one of these celebratory streams was when I hit 50K last year, like late last year, like I think around the September range is when I hit 50K. And now here we are again to celebrate an additional 10K, 60K subscribers, which I'm so glad to say that we achieved about a week and a half ago, because I'm over 60K now. I'm like 60,003 something right now. So we definitely are on the up and up. But if you have not done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button as well. I am also, because this is a celebratory stream, I am also streaming this on Twitter as well. Usually I'm only streaming on YouTube, because usually I will put the live stream for Freestyle Friday behind a paywall, which is the members only section. But because this is a special stream, this is going to be available to everyone. I will not make it a members only playback once this stream ends. So for people who want to catch the playback of this, we'll have the opportunity to do so. Let's see. We already have a few people that's in here already. We got Bot Boy, Auntie Sean from the Shy is in here. Fire Bat, Gemini 605, OC Girl 81, Buzzer Cam H1, Light Visions, PD Chicago B1, Grape Shot, Afro Elite, the Queen Deja, 007 Spidey 2, DSM Sinister, James Hudson, Dark Titan, Antoinette J. Shout out to everybody who is in here. Shout out to everybody who is watching also over on Twitter as well. Like I said, I'm double streaming today. I'm over on Twitter. People can see me on there if they can't, for whatever reason, can't come over to YouTube, or the people who are here on YouTube for whatever reason cannot come over via Twitter. I'm glad that everybody's starting to roll on in. And speaking of roll in, we got our first super chat of the day. Shout out to the auntie of the channel, Sean from the Shy. She says, nobody is going to stop my nephew. We'll be at 100K before you know. And we are claiming it. Thank you again for the super chat. This is definitely quite a milestone for my channel, but not only just for my channel, but for the voices of the new Black media. And also shout out to Tony45FU2 for coming on in. I know I kind of I said this when I hit 50K last year, but I'm gonna say it again, hitting it, 60K this time. This is a milestone for the channel and for the new Black media, because these type of channels and what we talk about often do not get this far. Many of you know my story when it comes to YouTube. This is like the 4th channel right here. My original channel, which was just Dorian Rain, that got terminated back in 2017, unfortunately. Then I had created a couple more channels and those got tampered with. And now I have a 3rd and a 4th channel. This is the 3rd channel, and the 4th one is the backup channel, which is called Rain in Real Time. But I'm just glad that I'm still here, still pushing forward, pushing through all of the good, the bad, or otherwise, especially when it comes to this platform. Everyone knows that I have a love-hate relationship with this platform, especially, when it comes to what I call the quarterly shadow bans. And, I just have to roll with it. I deal with it, and I keep doing what it is that I have to do in order to continue to thrive on this platform and still give out the content every single day that I know my audience wants to see. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Brother Roy Zero, K Stewart, Jonathan Richardson, Janesta, Joy 31608. But thank you everybody who is telling me congratulations. I definitely do appreciate it. You know, I also, for those of you who want to come up and chop with me, because this is still technically a Freestyle Friday, you can go ahead and do so. I have posted the link or pinned the link at the top of the chat. So for anyone who would like to come on up, they can feel free to go ahead and do so. Again, I am streaming live on both YouTube and Twitter today. So, like I said, if you can't catch me on one, you can catch me on the other. Appreciated AW1. Shout out to all. Also, let me give a shout out to all my patrons on Patreon as well. Y'all are definitely up there because y'all are like really big supporters of the channel. You know, y'all of course have access to the playbacks from the live streams that I do every single week. So that's your benefit right there. Shout out to all the members. I don't even know how many members I have. I haven't even counted them, but I know I have quite a bit. But shout out to all the members of the channel as well, who of course have access to the playbacks of the Freestyle Fridays. So definitely shout out to y'all. Denise Soul, she's 100,000 right around the corner. Congrats. Yeah, that's that man. Listen, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. We know when that day comes, because that's definitely going to be something that I didn't honestly see in my scope. I honestly didn't even see myself getting this far, to be quite honest with you. I didn't see it, but here we are. And speaking of, we have our first person to come up. Shout out to Amara. What's going on?
Yeah, what up, Twin? Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
Gotta tell you, man, your videos, man, you've been on fire with your videos.
Thank you.
You, BLO, well, Black Light Revelation, shout out to him.
Thank you.
Afro Elite, Kid Gravity. Did you see what he did on Monday?
Yeah.
With those commercials, I was like, damn, it made me feel old, man. I remember all that stuff. But off of him, man. It's your day. But yeah, man. And that video that you did about on that, I forgot that politician's name. Right after those people got shot, that's like low down.
Oh, you talking about AOC?
Oh, yeah. That's just what is wrong with her?
Yeah, I don't know. That really rubbed me the wrong way. When I saw that, I was like, why? And fortunately, I wasn't the only one, that felt that way, and rightfully so, because like that was, again, like I said in the thumbnail, that was not the time nor the place to talk about that or bring that up. That had no relevance to the discussion or to the topic at hand at all.
Exactly. And not to mention too, I mean, but obviously it's an agenda. Once, left, right, up or down, they all have an agenda. Like, did you hear what that fool Candace Owens said?
I can only imagine. I mean, what isn't she saying?
Exactly. It's just, yeah. I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, because I think she went to some dude, and she tried to make it political herself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but they both of them have an agenda. That's why I said they all suck, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but man, I'm so proud of you, man.
I appreciate it.
You deserve all the love you're getting. Like I said, when I first heard you, man, it's like someone from my generation, finally,
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a little older than you, but yeah, yeah, man, you do nothing but speak facts.
Right. Thank you.
Because I mean, what I like about you too, you don't lie, and if you get it wrong, you correct it.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. But there was one video I disagree with you on.
Mm-hmm.
Out of respect, of course. I'll just mention it right now. I think the one with the Red Ranger, I kind of looked into it. He might be part of something bigger. I don't know. Maybe he's just a fall guy because he was just a celebrity. Because he gave his opinion about it and stuff. I kind of did my research on it.
You said the Red Ranger.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was like almost a year ago. But I get where you're coming from. Because you did those. Because the title of your video was like it was fraud in time. I kind of laughed at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he might be. It might be like I don't think you're. I'm not saying you're a liar or you're out to get him. I knew you wasn't. Because you look at it like, man, you got money already. Yeah. I think it might be a misunderstanding with him, and he might be the fall guy because of his popularity. Because there's a bunch of other people involved, but because I guess I guess he got caught up because he is defending himself. It looks like he's about to win his case. I don't know, but he's yeah. I don't know if he did it, but if he did, then, no. If he did it, shame on him. For sure.
Yeah.
But it's like it might be a misunderstanding.
Right. Understandable.
But all the other videos, nah, you've been on point, man.
Thank you.
That's probably like the only one I would say. I would have waited, but that was a good title. I admit it's fraud in time. You're good with that stuff, Tori. For real.
Yeah, I try to be like as creative as I can be with the titles of my videos. I even kind of switched up a little bit with how my my thumbnails are, because like I love experimenting. Like I try to do different things, and I think I've now found something to do creatively with my thumbnails, especially since I'm getting rather good. Well, I was already good with Photoshop, but I wanted to really expand even more with it. And I said, let me go ahead and do that with the thumbnails, because when I was starting out, I wasn't using Photoshop to make my thumbnails. I would just put up a picture that went with the story and just kept it moving. But I said, I want to be a little bit more creative and let the thumbnails stick out. And I want, to have it, the thumbnail to be eye-catching as much as possible to not only attract my current viewers, but my new viewers as well, who could turn into new subscribers. And before I go any further, shout out to Mr. Hot Stepper for the 1999 super chat. He says, congrats on the 60K, brother. Thank you so much. And also, we are bringing up to the panel Afro Elite, another individual who is a huge part of the new black media.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I know the background is different. I'm at my dad's house right now.
Okay.
So that's why I don't know. You guys are used to seeing a certain setup, but I'm at my dad's house right now.
No problem.
This is actually his office. This is where I recorded my first video. My first YouTube video was right here.
Nice.
Congratulations, Dorian.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it.
I know it's a hard road on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know
you and I both we both know about that.
So much respect, man. Much respect.
I definitely appreciate
especially
it.
lately. I don't know what it is this year, but you've been really you've been really killing the game lately. Not just with the just the overall quality of the channel. It seems more organized, I would say. Everything is organized as far as like how you're structuring everything, the amount of time that you spend to research things and to look at things. Like I don't know if you had a New Year's resolution to really like take the channel to the next level, but you really did, and you're really doing it. It's not even really the first quarter of the year yet, so who knows what you're gonna be at.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely appreciated, everything like that. And before I know this is about the celebration, but I also have to give a shout out to you, Afro Elite, because the stream that y'all did for Ozone last night, for those of you don't know, they had a birthday stream for Ozone last night. I kind of popped in a little bit at the beginning that they had for them, and I saw that y'all raised what over 3,000.
Yeah, it's almost at 4,000 right now.
Yeah, wow. like last night on that stream for his defense fund. So that's definitely a huge kudos to you, and as well to ZZ, because she co-hosted with you and everybody else that contributed to the stream, because it felt like a family affair. We all had on white and everything. I'm sure if y'all go and look at Afro's channel, y'all can see the playback. It looked, it was really nice and put together. But yeah, definitely shout out to you as well with doing that as well. And you're making milestones yourself over on your channel. I'm just glad that one of the things that I said when I first started making videos is that at the time, the only people that I really knew making these type of videos was Jason Black, Professor Black Truth, and Tariq Nasheed. Those are the only three at the time that were really really out there like that I could remember. maybe a couple of others, but those are the ones that stuck out to me the most. And when I started making these videos, I said it needs to be more voices in this space because we are in a minority right now. And I just heard the chime. Someone hit me, send a cash app to me with my phone on charge, and I can't reach it, but I'll check it later. But shout out to the person who sent me that cash app. But at the time, it was a very small space. And that was back in 2016, because I had my original YouTube channel starting back when I was in college. And on that channel was just college-based stuff. And I really wish I had that channel. That way y'all can go back and look and see where I was when I was in my early 20s. Like, y'all would have saw a whole new different me. Like, I wasn't Dorian Rain. Like, that wasn't a title I went by when I was in college. Clearly, that didn't come until later. And to see where I'm at now, and just to see the growth in my mindset from early 20s to early 30s. It's just amazing how the transition is as you go through life, and how you learn and you grow based on life experiences or based on things that you learn from other people. It's like night and day. Like how I was like thinking back then or doing back then, I could not do today. Clearly, I would not, because then that means I'm not growing, especially mentally. I always say, like that mental is that very, that important part right there. If you're not growing mentally, then you might as well be brain dead. And I know none of us want to be in that position, but I'm definitely glad about that. But let me get into this super chat right here to Soul Survivor. I like how you made your name like that. For the $10 super chat, he says, congratulations, young brother Dorian, keep it up and be one family. And we also have another person we are about to bring up to the panel as well. 007 Spidey 2 FBA. You added the FBA to your name, I see.
Hey, because I am FBA.
Right, definitely. Another regular that comes up on the Freestyle Fridays at the end of every month. Like literally when this happens, I pretty much expect Spidey to come up here, except for that 1 month that you didn't come up and you had told me why you couldn't make it up because you was going through some things. But you told me you will be back next month, and you was back next month and every month thereafter. Like you pretty much become a regular for this stream that I have at the end of every month. And before I let you go, let me shout out Steve Owl Holla Mac for the $10 super sticker. What's going on, Spidey?
Yeah, not much, Dorian. Just everyday life, just a everyday man as usual. Mm-hmm. You also forgot to mention Mr. Your World, or Mr. Superboy.
Yeah.
Also.
I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah, he was definitely around back then as well. Like when I first started doing YouTube. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, his video, one of the videos that got shared onto my Facebook page back then, was one of his videos when he still had his Mr. Superboy 223 channel. And that's actually what made me start doing like the different videos and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? I think I kind of like this. At first, I was kind of worried because I didn't like the sound of my own voice. And I was like, I don't know like how that would be. And then over time, people say, you got a voice that sounds like it should be on radio. And that gave me a boost of confidence. And then that's when I started to keep doing it. But even at that point, I still wasn't ready to put my face out there. So I was still doing like voiceover type of things. And then one day I just started putting on the camera like now to get more comfortable with it. And then here comes, you look like Ludacris. and then that's how like the whole Ludacris thing came. Like to my subscribers, y'all are like the first people to tell me that I look like Ludacris. Like it was mainly my subscribers, like all the people that I went to school with, grew up with, knew how I look with this face right here. They never like associated with me looking like Ludacris, but everyone else did. Even people who are other YouTubers who saw my face and they will always say Luda. And then when I started growing my hair out and getting the cornrows and stuff, then they really started saying Ludacris, or they'll say Kawhi Leonard, or they'll say D'Angelo. If I had my hair in a fro, they would say Maxwell. So it's like I kept getting all these
Maxwell.
I kept getting all these different. Like I said, only when I had my hair in the fro, like when it wasn't braided up, when it was just out. That's the only time they threw out the Maxwell comparison because of the hair. But other than that, it wasn't because of looks, it was just the hair. But that's really where it came from, was more so from YouTube, was y'all kept calling me Ludacris. And every time, I kid you not, when I get my hair braided and I post it up on Instagram, I always have people leaving Luda somewhere in the comment section on Instagram. It's like I've gotten used to it now. I said maybe, fate will have it where me and Ludacris will come across paths and we take a picture with each other and we're like, fine, finally, here it is. We're going to put it up side by side. Here it is right here. I finally met my doppelganger, or who y'all have declared to be my doppelganger.
Wow, that's funny. YouTube is a totally different world. You'll hear stuff on YouTube that you never heard in your personal life before.
Exactly. Like I said, no one who personally knows me has ever said that I look like Ludacris. It started right here on YouTube. That's where it started at. And people say, you know what, I could kind of see it. And it's gotten to the point where now I've internalized it. And I said, you know what, maybe I do look like him, but maybe I don't see it. Maybe it's just that I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but it's like, hey, it is what it is. Like, I wish I could say I was making this up, but I'm not.
You should take that as a compliment that you look like Ludacris, because Ludacris is a good MC.
Shout out to King of Now, or King of No, for the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it.
Dorian, I'm sure some people in your personal life knows about your YouTube stuff. Maybe you might not keep it, you might not walk around telling your job about what you say in YouTube. I know I don't. But do you get any interesting reactions from people, people you know personally that you're a big YouTuber?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my first interaction like that actually happened at my job a couple years ago. I think I was probably a year or two. No, it was probably back in 17 or something like that. That was probably a good year after I really started to pick it up. Someone at my job who doesn't work with me, they were a guest. They had just they had saw my face, because I think that was at the time when I started putting my face out there, and they said, and this is a young guy, probably at the time in his early 20s, who was with his dad, and said, "Are you Dorian Rain?" it kind of caught me off guard, because I was like, how do I respond to that? I said, "Are you Dorian Rain?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I watch your videos on YouTube all the time. I really like your content." I think that was the first time that happened. The second time I think that happened was when I went to my homecoming, and I had people say that I watch your content and I really like what you have to say. And it's like, this is like a whole completely different person, because when you was an undergrad, when we was here, you was never talking about stuff like that. I said, well, truth be told, a lot of us weren't. When we was in school, we was on a whole different wave, but that was a whole different element back then. You're talking about from 2007 to 2011. That's way different from now. So the air was a little bit different back then. So of course we wasn't really on that type of time back then. The next time I think I remember was when I was at the gym. I was at the gym and someone recognized me just by my voice. They didn't even see my face. They heard my voice. And they said, "Are you Dorian Rain?" He said, "I watch your videos." He said, "I watch your videos." But the bigger moment, and I think this was a moment that me and Afro share, was at the rally for reparations.
Yes.
And that's when we met a lot of the people who watch our content, and we met them in person. Listen, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't say it back then because I wanted to be as humble as possible, but I'm gonna be honest. We felt like celebrities that day.
We
felt like celebrities that day. I will never forget it. Before I actually get into it, shout out to J Cage for the $20 super chat. He said, "B1 to all. Was hoping to come on the panel, but I'm on the plantation right now." Hey, I understand it. I know how that feels. I was there on Tuesday. But shout out to the super chat. Also, shout out to Always Me for the $10 super chat. He said, "Congratulations, Dorian. I definitely appreciate it." But yeah, I remember it clear as day. Like I was, I was just so amped up. I thought I was going to be able to get any sleep that night, because I was just ready to see who I saw. Now, mind you, us creating these videos, y'all see us, but we can't see you. We see you, but we don't know what y'all look like. And we don't know y'all outside of a username. And when I was getting off the train and I walked up to Freedom Plaza, I had saw some people looking my way and just smile. Like they had these wide smiles. And it was like, Torian Rain Reloaded. Like, you know, they was like, dude, I watch your content and your videos all the time and so on and so forth. And then I looked down and then that's when I saw Afro. So me and Afro was able to meet for the first time at that event, and we just kind of like connect. It was like one big family reunion. Saw so many people, met so many people in person, took a lot of pictures. There was a lot of videos. And if people thought that the rally for reparations was something, wait till that expo in May in Dallas. Now that is going to be very interesting. I cannot wait for that event right now. Like I said, I'm prepared. I'm ready. I got my flight booked. I got my hotel. I got the ticket. Like I'm pretty much ready. Of course, I don't have to worry about packing anything until closer to that time, clearly. But I am definitely ready for that. Afro, I know you're going to be there. I don't even have to ask.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't miss it for the world. No, I would definitely.
Tyree plan on having that whole event bigger and better, huh?
Oh yeah, this is going to be a huge event because this is the first expo, the first FBA expo that he's having. So this is going to be huge for sure, and it's going to be at like it's like a center, like a convention type of center.
Yeah, we have to think about like when they came to the rally was really planned like within less than a month. That's when Tariq was all like, you know what, I'm a still do, because he canceled the first time because they they was giving him the runaround, and then he decided to do it again, but he had less than a month because he wanted to do it before the election. So this time he has a lot more time. A lot of the speakers have more time to get their stuff together. I know there was a lot of people. I got so many messages. Oh, I wanted to go to the rally. I want to go, but it wasn't enough time. But this time, people got a lot more time to get their affairs in order, get their tickets and hotels and stuff. So I think this. I mean, and it was a lot of people at the rally. Don't get me wrong. It was thousands of people. It
was a lot of people for it to be kind of last minute. You would think that Tariq had all the time in the world with the amount of people that showed up.
Yeah.
And it's right before summer, so that kind of helps as well.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning of summer because it's Memorial Day weekend. So the answer to Mara Shepherd's question, who said on what date in May, is going to be May 27th. So it's literally Memorial Day weekend. And I was actually shocked that when I got my plane ticket, and it's probably because I got it at the time that I did, was as cheap as it was, because I ordered my plane ticket back in January, like literally either New Year's Day or the day after. It was one of those two. And I was able to get a round trip for about $400 something. I was shocked with nonstop, no layovers. Like I was actually shocked that I actually was able to get that, because I'm thinking it's Memorial Day weekend, so they're going to jack up those prices. But I was fortunate and I lucked out. And I think I said maybe it's because I ordered it very early. That's probably what it was. I didn't wait until closer to that time.
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
If you guys are listening, you guys should definitely, if you're going, which I encourage you to go, you guys should definitely get your tickets as soon as possible.
And I got the as far as the ticket for the actual expo itself, I got the $100 one, which is the next, which is the second one. I think it's the second one.
I know there's different tiers of tickets, and I know there's vendors. Torian, you're not going to be a vendor, are you?
No.
So what are like the different tiers of
hold on, tickets? Let me as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and I'm gonna pull it up right now so people can see it. Let me see. All right, so here it is on the screen for those of y'all who need to see it. This is, of course, the first page on the FBA Expo website. This is the flyer right here. And it's just like, telling you general information, like the name of the location, where it's going to be at, what's going to be occurring, the date, and the time is going to start at 10 a.m. First off, I made sure the hotel I'm staying at is near the airport, because I know how I like to sleep. So I said I need to be as close to the airport as possible and not too far away. So luckily for me, the hotel I got, because I'm flying in through to Dallas's main airport, and the airport from the hotel is literally like about a 5 to 7 minute drive. So it's like right there. I said that's perfect. And the hotel to the actual center where this is at is about a 20-minute drive. I said that's even better. So I'm not doing a long drive. But to answer your question, Afro, these are the tickets right here. So this is the general admission one right here. The $60. I got this one, the $100 one, which is the prime seating. That's the one I got. Then you have the VIP one, which is $300. The meet and greet pass, $500, and then you got the vendor stuff towards the bottom. And of course, the highest vendor booth, which is VIP, is like $1,000. When you think about it, all of it is really affordable, no matter which one you get.
Yeah, and for the vendors, you're gonna definitely make that money up.
Yeah, most definitely.
You're gonna make so much more if you get the VIP. Can you imagine if you I mean, I don't know what you would like selling, like clothes or something like that, but can you imagine how much money you would make that day?
Oh, people gonna rack up that day. People are definitely going to rack up that day. And I would highly suggest, if people are going to be a part of this and they want to be a vendor, now would be the best time to let people know what you got going on, so they won't, they'll know what it is that you're doing or what it is that you're selling. That way they can get an idea, so they can say, okay, I'm gonna look for your booth or your vendor, your area when we get there. Let me get to this next super chat. Shout out to Just My Opinion Reviews for the $5 super chat. He said, congratulations, bro, on 60K subs. And let me give a shout out to this channel right here. In case y'all have never seen this channel before, Just My Opinion Review. Some of y'all are familiar with them, some may not be, but I actually collabed with him on my channel last year when we was breaking down the white savior trope and why it's not seen as woke. And I did 3 of them. He was one of them. But the reason why I want to shout this channel out in particular is because he is one of the only, if not the only person on YouTube that I saw do a review for American Maroon. And not only that, but he's done a review for probably every Tariq documentary that Tariq has done. Either whether he was reacting to the trailer or he was doing a review of the documentary itself. Because he had asked me if I wanted to come up and actually speak, do a collab with this, but I wasn't finished watching the documentary at the time, so I couldn't do it. But shout out to the Just My Opinion Reviews channel. If you have not subscribed to his channel, go ahead and do it. And y'all know whenever I give the say so of subscribing to a channel, that means that they get the seal of approval in my book.
Yeah, I was just watching one of his videos. I think he did a review on an episode of a TV show.
It probably was. He does movies and TV shows.
Yeah, I like it because we don't have a lot of, and I like the fact that you do it too, because we don't really have a lot of movie reviewers or TV show reviewers that aren't. I'm be honest.
Yeah,
most of them are Sambos, so it's good to have like a conscious person doing a review on the TV. I know you do movies, but like a TV show or a movie or something.
Right. Oh, and before I even get into that, Brandon, because that's his name. Brandon, are you going to be at the expo in May? Because I know you live in Texas. I just wanted to know what you're going to be there. That way I can have a chance to meet you. You can just put yes or no in the chat. But I gotta ask y'all, those who are on the panel right now, and even those in the chat, what series do y'all like that I'm doing so far right now? As y'all know, I kicked off 2 of them this year. The Operation Protect the White Boy, as well as the Black Massacre series. Y'all can say that y'all I would like, because I like to get feedback. You can say you like one over the other, or you can say you like both of them. And I would like to actually know why, or have you learned anything based on that?
I'll let you go ahead, Mara.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, but Dorian, I like the ones that you do with Rob.
Oh, you like the collabs? I gotta chuckle at those a little bit.
Yeah, hey, you should do one with them too, and stuff. But y'all should do one on Candace Owens. When she came out and did her video, Y'all gonna have a ball with that one because it's so ridiculous what she's doing.
I bet it is. Like I was saying earlier, when isn't it? But before I let anyone else go, let me shout out Concerned Black Citizen for the $20 super chat. He said, "Congrats on 60K. I remember when you started this channel. Hope the PC. Hope the PC. Oh, help the PCs. Oh, okay. I know who this is. Shout out to this person right here, because they were a huge help when I got this PC, when I got this computer that I'm sitting in front of right now. I literally was going through it so many days, so many nights with this computer when I first got it, and even sometimes in between, because I was having glitches here and there. I was panicking, sweating. I said, I'm glad I can call them up, and it was available. And they was like, dude, like, no, like literally, he was helping me out with stuff that he would probably charge people to help them fix. And he said, as long as you keep putting out this content, I got you. And this person, mind you, is in another state. They are, as a matter of fact, they are hours away from me. And they were helping me with this. And even when they were putting out content for their channel, that was the even exchange of me helping them with their content. They help me with that whenever I have an issue with my computer. So definitely shout out to that individual right there. Concerned Black Citizen for sure. But what we
I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah, I'm about to head out right quick, but I'm gonna be back. Okay.
Okay. Cool. But Spidey, Afro.
Spidey, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. I would say as well. The Black Massacre is great, but I haven't been able to catch up on those, so I have to go back and catch up on those. So for now, I would have to say the Operation Protect the White Boys, because those are the ones that I've been actually able to watch and actually digest, and I think you do a good job on those. And you know, it just needs to keep on being reiterated that how white men and even white women are basically continuously are able to be protected, even if they're accused of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. I have a few. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at what happened with Jonathan Majors. Look at how the media was able to blow that back up. It all reminds me of what happened back in January of 2009. And of course, y'all should know what I'm talking about when I say that is Chris Brown and Rihanna thing. Look at where Chris Brown is at now. He's basically in a fucked up state of mind. All off of one incident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say I feel like both of the series are good. I want you to continue with both of the series.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was the Black Massacre series, and I do like that because I feel like growing up, Black people are told, after the Civil War, it was a couple of races here and there, but it wasn't really no big issue. You know what I'm saying? But with the Black Massacre series, and one of the things that I really like is the fact that all of this, or most of the content in the Black Massacre series, is post slavery ending, post the 13th Amendment. It's after 1965. Mm-hmm. So that shows that we've been going through it way after 1965. But me personally, I really do like
1865.
18, 18. My fault. My bad. 1865. Me personally, I really do like the Operation Protect the White Boy because I feel like it's important to use them as case studies because we're always told that if you just follow the rules, then the rules apply equally to everybody. But they hide incidents like the ones that you expose. So that way we can use those like, okay, well, there's a night and day difference between how law enforcement treats Black people. They always gaslight Black people, and they say stuff like, oh, you're using the race card, quote unquote. It's always using the race card. But when you have, when you can pinpoint instances of them being treated completely different than us, then they can't gaslight us as easily. So I really like that series. That's just me personally, but they're both good.
Cool. And that's the reason why I asked, because I always like to get feedback from the people, because usually when I upload the videos, it's only feedback on that particular topic, or when it comes to the Black Massacre series, that particular massacre. I never get feedback on the series overall. So, that's why I always like to ask people, like, if you notice, every live stream that I do weekly, I always ask people, what did y'all think about this episode this week and all types of stuff like that. Yeah, the most recent Black Massacre series episode that I entered in, which was episode 13, which was the longest one.
Yeah, it was
that one was listen, I didn't think what I was reading was going to stop. It was just so much. And the thing is, even after I stopped, there was still a little bit more, but it was more talking about modern day. And I was like, okay, I don't have to read that part, just the part that needs to be read. But it was so much in just that one episode. And I kept telling people, I say, I need to answer the trigger warning, because some of y'all gonna get pissed at, like really mad with what you hear in that particular episode. And do you know that out of all the episodes so far, that is the one that YouTube did not monetize? And I'm not surprised, because of the language that was used, and because that content was really, really, I mean, the whole series is dark, but that one was like the darkest one so far. Yeah. I did not expect it to have all of that in there. Like, they really went there. Like, literally, like, people who missed it, I spent a whole hour just doing build-up before the actual massacre happens. Usually, with the ones that I've done, the massacre hits almost instantly. This one was just a build-up to the 60-minute mark, and then that's when the massacre kick in. We only talked about the massacre for like 10 minutes. So that just shows you how intense that situation was. And shout out to Rob over at Blacklight Revelations 2, one of his many thousands of variants. On this, he said, congrats on the 60K subs. Turn up, who's going to match my $5 for the Dorian turn up? I appreciate it. And
speaking of variants,
right, it's and we got another person who's ready to come up to the panel. Concerned Black citizen, brother, what's good?
Man, thank you.
Salute to you, sir.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. What's up, Afro Elite? What's up, Spidey?
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, sir? Good evening.
Yeah,
just chilling, man. Finally on the day off, man. Finally get to check out the Freestyle Friday.
Nice. But like I said, huge shout out to this person, because they are literally like my personal geek squad when it comes to this computer of mine. Like, y'all have no idea the stuff I was going through when I got this PC back in, when was it? 2020. I think I got it when we were still in the pandemic. And I said, I need a PC, because everything up until that point was really, based, on my laptop. And I said, I need something more powerful to hold and store all of this stuff. And, when I got it and I had posted up on Instagram, that's when he had reached out to me and said, if you need any help with your PC, like setting it up, downloading any programs that you need, please let me know. I'm here to help you. And literally, he was there every step of the way to help me out to set all of this up. So a huge reason why I have this set up right now is definitely to the person at the bottom left of this screen, for sure. Shout out to Val Williams for the $5 super chat. She says, congratulations, Dorian. I matched you, Rob. See, paying it forward and paying attention. Go ahead. I'm gonna say CBC, and that does not stand for the Congressional Black Caucus. Let's just keep that. Let's keep that right there.
Definitely not. Hey, I wanted to chime in a little bit about you asking everybody about the series that they like, and of course it's the Black Massacre series. But the real thing about it is it actually documents all the real atrocities that we had in this country. And we spend all our time talking about racism and redlining, but it's never the narrative about all these massacres that happen in all these cities, and it's never spoke about, and it's almost looked past. And when you bring it up, the dominant society act like it never happened, or they have no idea about it. So it's really good that you are documenting this and you making a series, because in the future people could go back and look back and see an organized documentation on what happened by one of the recent brothers who putting in that work.
Right. And like people were saying in the chat, this actually helps out when it comes to our discussions about reparations, because when it comes to this series, and I think I said this when I did the introductory video to talk about what this was going to be about, I said that when people think of massacres that Black people have dealt with in America, the only two that come to mind is Black Wall Street and Rosewood, and that's because those are the ones that were very popularized.
Rosewood was made into a movie.
Exactly, and that's what helped propel it into being popular because it was a movie. Came out back in the 90s. And Black Wall Street, that was seen as the first terrorist attack on American soil against its own citizens. So that was another reason why that happened. But I said those can't be the only two. I said there has to be way more. So I said, let me go ahead and look and see if there were any more. And I had came across this post that literally had a list of all of different massacres that happened going back to the 1800s. I said, I gotta hop onto this, but I wanted to wait until I was done with my Sundown series before hopping into another series, and I wanted to start it at the top of the year instead of right after, because doing those videos weekly, that's a lot, because you have to, first off, when you do as many videos as I do, you have to remember, I have to do this video and have it up on this particular day because that's the day I told him it's going to come up. It's like a episodic weekly thing, so I have to remember to put that out there. And usually I record the videos on Sunday, edit it, and then just have it there and then be ready to upload it on Wednesday. So that's usually the day when I record that particular video. Shout out to our Ren 11B Airborne for the 1999 super chat. He said, congratulations on 60,000. Afro Elite is next. For sure.
Thank you, brother. Definitely. I appreciate that. 60,000 is around the corner. It really is. I'm like almost halfway there, and I just reached 5,000. That's crazy. I've never grown this fast before.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another thing that's helping you is the you collabing with Dr. Short. I think that definitely helped out a huge, like a lot, and yet definitely gave you a boost. And I always like hearing Dr. Short talk because he, as Rob will always say, embraces villainy. I said I think that man was born into it. You know how Bane said to Batman, how did the line go? He said, you came into the darkness, I was born in, something like that. Dr. Short is Bane. I think it's safe to say that he is, because he doesn't hold his tongue for nobody or about anything. But I said we definitely need more people out there who speak in that type of tone for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a question, Dorian, about since we're talking about the Black Massacre series or whatnot. I know it probably takes, you have a radio voice. Even my mother's told me that. I remember playing you one time in the car with my mother. She was like, oh, he has such a voice for radio. He has such a radio voice. But how do you mentally prepare yourself before? I know you're reading the situations and all of this stuff, and you got to read all the details. So how does that does that not piss you off? Do you not get upset or frustrated, exhausted?
Well, I think it all depends on the subject matter. Some of them is if I'm talking about a Sambo, that's easy, to just debunk anything that they say. It's actually comedy for me. The Triple P's are just a kickback session for me. That's me just having fun with it. I think the stories that hit me hardest the most are anything involving children. And I've said that before. Those are the ones that really hit me the hardest. As a matter of fact, it's a video I have uploading tomorrow that is going to be a hard-hitting one. And I think that anybody who is a father and a mother is going to be heavily affected by the details of that story because, and I'm going to be honest, that story is probably going to trigger so many people in a way that it might actually make them cry out of madness, because this story is so degenerate based that it's probably going to make you want to stop listening for a little bit to collect yourself and really register what you've heard just probably within the first minute. It's that bad. Trust me, and trust and believe. And trust me, when I tell people it's that bad, I never over exaggerate what it is I'm about to talk about. When I say something is that bad, or you're literally going to have to really prepare yourself for what you're about to hear, then it is what it is. That's another reason why I like to premiere style my videos, because then it gives people an idea of what they're about to get into instead of me just uploading it the regular way. And it's like, oh, it just hit them like a bolt of lightning. At least now they can prepare for what it is that they're about to receive. And also, too, sometimes what people will do is if they can get enough information based on the description or the title, they'll go look it up themselves so they can get an idea of what it is I'm about to talk about. But they'll still listen to what I'll say because they want to know what I'm going to say as it pertains to the story. But yeah, it definitely is a mental thing because that's not the first time I've ever gotten that question. You know, how do I mentally prepare? Because a lot of these stories, a lot of people wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole because it might be too much for them to handle. That's just like a person who's a person who works at the morgue. Like, imagine how they got to feel when they get body after body after body every day, and everybody doesn't die the same. You know, some people, you know, they die naturally. Some get shot, some get stabbed, some get decapitated, some get poisoned. So you're dealing with different things, and you have to be able to deal with that. And I feel like that's the same thing with me when it comes to these, to certain stories. Again, not every story is going to hit the same. You know, some are easy for me to just knock out of the park. Like the one that I did about AOC today, that was very easy for me to do, even though what she said was very triggering, but it was very easy for me to do. Some people couldn't even touch that because they might get overly emotional. And I think that when it comes to this, sometimes you have to take the emotions out of it in order to get your point across. Otherwise, it might get too much. What one time for me, it actually did. And again, it was dealing with a story involving children, and that was dealing with the Hart family. That video, when I was recording it, I actually cried right there in the middle of me recording it. And if you go back and look at it, I think the video might still be up. If it was recorded on this channel, it's still up. If it was on my original channel, then it's not up there no more. But literally, when I was reading the story, I literally started to break down halfway through reading it. And then once I gave my commentary after it, you could actually hear on the other side of the mic, like you can actually hear my voice crack, and I'm literally like sniffing. I'm gonna be honest. When I recorded that video, I was doing an ugly cry on the other side of that screen. Like, it's a good thing that at the time that I didn't show my face in the camera, because then people would have been like, you know, Dorian, maybe you need to stop, you know, collect yourself and come back and finish the video, because now you've gotten real invested into this. And I think it's because that story hit so hard because we didn't know what was going on. We assumed something that wasn't true, and by the time we knew the truth, it was too late. And how it ended was so tragic. So, you know, it's one of those things that you wish that something could have been done faster to save them, but it's like it's done. It's over now. You know, unfortunately, all of them are deceased, and we know who was responsible. And that story doesn't get talked about enough. You know, it's been in rotation. That's why I had to give a shout out to Donald Glover for highlighting that in an episode of Atlanta on his 3rd season, where he talked about that. And when he did that, I was like, oh, wow, he actually did an episode surrounding the Hart family. But in the episode, they had a happy ending. The kids actually survived, and the 2 women that tried to, you know, kill them, they were the ones that ended up dead. So the story ended up having a happy ending, but, you know, I had to realize that was just television and it was fiction. In reality, we know what really happened.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Go ahead.
I wanted to give a little special shout out to Afro Elite. I know when I bring this subject up, he's gonna laugh. The other day he was in a Twitter space, man, and a suspected white supremacist jumped in and tried to do the quick pivot. Oh, you know, talk about the vax and speak about how Africans didn't accept it. And then when the brothers asked him about reparations, he quickly said he wasn't in agreement with it, and Afro Elite's viewpoint of it was accurate, man. So I want to give you a B1 on that. Thank you. Man. I was in the space that day, man. I wanted to speak, but it was real crazy and long. So, you know, I try to sit back in the background until my time is up.
Thank you. You know what's interesting? I was actually about to leave the space before he started speaking. because his name was Pablo. And I was all like, I don't know too many black people named Pablo, but this is Twitter, so it's whatever. And then I heard his voice, and I'm like, oh, he's not black at all. He has some type of like accent, some type of like UK accent or whatever. So that's why I stayed. I'm like, let me see what this dude is about to say. Because you don't ever have no white person come in our spaces and agree, and that's it. They always try to agree and then pivot to something else, So I was able to I pay very close attention to what he was about to say.
Right. Hey, but go ahead, Spidey.
Hey, Torian, can I tell you another series that I can especially tell you that I enjoyed?
What's that?
Your Bed Bucking and Buchanan series.
Man. That's another series that I have fun with, talking about when it comes to those stories, because those you can literally pull almost a variety of things to throw into that, that series. I find that when it comes to the Bed Bucking series in particular, those are mainly Sambos that fall into that category. However, with the Buchanan series, it's a combination of the Sam Bet, as I call her, or a black woman that's committing an atrocity a lot of times against another black man or another black individual that would be deemed as off code. So that's literally how I structure that. As a matter of fact, I actually recorded 2 Buchanan videos in one day, like a couple days ago. Y'all will see what those are about. One of them, y'all may have heard about. The other one, you probably have not. But trust and believe, both of them definitely earned their place in the Buchanan Hall of Shame. When you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
And of course, I can tell you why I enjoyed that series is because, we can talk about white supremacy all day, but in order for white supremacy to thrive, you have to have supporters. You have to have sponsors. You have to have, especially Negroes, aiding in that shit. And we got a lot of, and unfortunately, I really hate to say this, but there's a lot of Negroes in the diaspora, whether you're talking about FBA or not, who aids in white supremacy every freaking day.
I always say that you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist, and I stand firmly 10 toes down and in my square when I say that, because that is without the shadow of a doubt very, very true. Like, you can look at those particular videos and see that. I always say, if you are a person who is black, whether you are FBA or not, and you are against reparations, you definitely are a white supremacist in blackface, without the shadow of a doubt. And there's no, in my opinion, there's no walking back from that. But we also have another guest down in the back chat who is ready to come on up. And y'all already probably know who it is. I always call her the auntie of the channel. We got Sean from the Shine.
Yeah. What it do?
How you doing?
Nephew at 60K. So you know what it is. I got my drink. Yeah, let's get it. You know what it is. We ain't gonna play with it tonight. Gonna play with it tonight.
Miss Sean, how you doing?
Spidey, I'm wonderful. Afro Elite, I'm wonderful. Concerned dark citizen, welcome.
How you doing?
I'm not gonna, as they say in the Pentecostal church, I ain't gonna tarry too long, but I am gonna come in here and speak very, very briefly. First of all, Dorian, congratulations. But guess what? I'm not surprised, because when you do good work and you do it with a passion, you will receive your rewards. Anything that you put your energy into, that you have a passion for, that is positive, it will yield a return. Now, I might not do it as fast as you want to, or when you think you're supposed to have it, but guess what? Everything aligns up in the constellations for it to open up, those portals to open up, so that way we receive our abundance, but I just want to say congratulations. I've been with you since 2017. And I remember when they snatched you down and they knocked you down, and you got right back up. You didn't do it in Donnie McClurkin style, you know what I'm saying? But you got back up, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, I got that Shanae energy tonight because I'm a lady, okay? And I want to speak on something because I watched the video, and when I commented, I said I'm gonna speak about this on Freestyle Friday, and I think you might know what it is because it's recent. You did a video about something may have been on TikTok, and we had this person talking about uniting T Halls and how they gonna go out and whoop somebody's
last
ass
night
and all this other stuff, and talk about being one. I said, no, you know what? Auntie gonna address this here. Look at here. I'm a woman. I'm not a cis woman. I'm a woman. Okay? I don't have to change who I am to accommodate you. You're the one making a change. And guess what? I'm not trying to stop you because whatever's working in this up here, that's working for you. As long as it don't get in the way of what I have to do. I'm going to do a little story time real briefly that'll give you an insight on how I feel about this. I worked a part-time job in my neighborhood where I work at a big grocery chain outside of my regular employment because my daughter was in college.
Was it Buddy Bear? Sorry.
Oh, no. Well, you know, Buddy Bear is now a car wash, now Spidey. That Italian guy that had Buddy Bear that loved black women to no end. He had grocery stores, and then he got caught up in some dope and
right in the heart of the
whole
West
bunch
Side.
of stuff. Because, you know, I'm old, so I remember all this stuff. But that's what I was going to say. I worked the self-checkout because, first of all, I didn't want to be slinging no heavy groceries. And I can rotate around, and when there's no work, Auntie can lean, and can't nobody say a damn thing to me about it. So one Sunday, I'm working, and we have a transgender woman in the community that's about 6'5", real skinny, like Diana Ross used to be back in the 60s, right? Always impeccably dressed, you know, comes in, and my back is to her, okay? I'm looking out into the parking lot, and she says this to me. Excuse me, sir. Now, mind you, I'm thin now because I'm older, but I used to be real fluffy back in the day, but I don't give the impression that I'm a man at all, okay? Three sisters on the register on the side. It was like an E.F. Hutton commercial. They immediately stopped. They was like, oh, let's see how this will turn out. I turned around with my arms crossed, and I said to her, I am a natural woman. Her response to me was, well, you know, we have so many transgenders in the community because I live in Rogers Park, which is it's like a gumbo. And Afro Elite knows what I'm speaking on.
Yeah.
So when
That's
he
north
said,
side, right?
Right, I'm on the north side. I'm on the north side of Chicago. I'm on the borderline of Evanston and Chicago.
Oh.
When I got that response, this was my mic drop. Put my hand on my chin like that. I say, well, you know what? That husband I had for 30 years and them two kids I had 18 years and 5 days apart. Say I'm a woman from the top of my head down my toenails. Now I can help you, honey. Oh. And my point of the story is, guess what? He had on all the fit, right? Outfit, hair, makeup, nails, all of that, right? Not a woman. However, Auntie didn't have on none of that. Two people on this planet. Now what? Okay? You know, you can't, how can I say it? You can't desecrate the blueprint. You're trying to be like the blueprint. Don't you think you should show respect to the blueprint? Or you think you're gonna do it better than me? Although I'm made like this by design. Whether it's the Most High, God, evolution, whatever title you want to put on it. I know one thing. I have a total of 61 hours and 37 minutes of child labor. Now you let somebody from Hall T top that. Now when you do that, you might get some respect.
And that's what I've been telling a lot of the women. I've been telling a lot of women. I said, y'all got to be careful about what it is that y'all going out here to throw the cape on in the support, because you know they can. What they want to be in that space so badly. They are. And I called this a couple years ago. I called this pre-pandemic. You know, and I said, there's one thing, you know, me as a man can, you know, I can only say so much. But I said the women got to call it out. But you know what video I'm shocked you didn't say anything about? Even though we're still on this topic, did you watch the one that I did where you had all those women that was on that podcast and the guy asked them, what is a woman?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Man, listen.
Didn't the woman, the actual natural woman, said, I'm not a cis woman. I'm a woman. Because you don't get to change me because you're changing yourself. You understand? You're changing. Evolving into what it is that you feel you are. It's like Popeye, baby. I am what I am. You understand? I don't have to make explanation for the obvious. I don't. And I feel that being such a small populace of the planet to not to say they shouldn't be acknowledged or respected or, you know, protected from violence and harm. I feel any human being deserves that regardless of where your head space is at. But you don't get to step on another to elevate yourself, to validate yourself. You don't. On it, then you stand on it. I don't have to explain myself. And I feel that we're now in a space where people would just average everyday heterosexual people. You got to constantly explain why you are who you naturally are. You know what I mean? That you accept, you know, from birth. We're made to have to make everybody else feel comfortable. I feel it's a give and take. You understand? It has to be equal. And also, people of that community, when they see people in their community that do things that are incorrect, guess what? You got to call that out. Because for you to remain silent on it, you know, you get the side eye from people and you're not going to get the support from people that you think you deserve, but because you're not really being an honest person, so to speak. You're not calling out people's character, because at the end of the day, nephew, we're calling out the character of people and how they move, more so than all the other titles and you know, other adornments and accessories can be placed upon you. Because at the end of the day, whether you straight, gay, bi, trans, whatever, guess what? You got to come out here and be a respectable damn human being in this world and in this universe.
That's all we can ask for.
Right. And attach all these other things to give you an out for bad and abhorrent behavior. Auntie not buying that.
Yeah, and that's why I went on, and that's why I was really like why I went in and said the things that I said in that video yesterday, because they were doing this and piggybacking off of a tragedy that just happened in Nashville where 6 people were murdered. Like, you had 3 kids and 3 staff be murdered by a member of your community, and all you worried about is going out there fighting back against them, because apparently somehow you've become oppressed somehow, some way. I'm like, the timing on that was off. And then for AOC to come out like hours later and say what she said, you know, because I did the video about her today.
I can tell by your but every time I hear that woman's initials, it makes your auntie's locks tighten up, because she get on my damn nerves.
Hey, listen,
I cannot wait to do a live stream on that. I'm doing that Monday.
Like, you going Afro? You going to talk about it?
Yeah, okay, I was going to do a recorded video, but I'm like, I need to do a whole live stream to break all of the aspects in. So I'm doing that Monday.
Definitely, please, you know, speak on that.
Well, I'm on spring break, baby. I'll be there. I have time to listen, because Auntie can take some naps and stay up and do all this stuff, because the kind of work I do, Auntie be tired. Not tired. Tired.
That's totally different level.
Right. When you tired, that's you like in zombie mode.
Yeah, you know, and I have a job that can be stressful because I work within the school system here, and I just see so much, and I work with children that are like my son, because I have an autistic son. Matter of fact, my son will be 40 years old this August. When my
I got
son
characteristics of the spectrum, so
when I found out about autism in 1987, a lot of people weren't very familiar with it, and it was so funny. When I would tell people that my son was autistic, they would think that I was saying he's artistic because his dad is a rock guitarist. So they would automatically, well, what instrument he play? I say, my damn nerves, because he won't sit down. I said, no, my son used to wake up at 5 o'clock, and Phoenix was not going to sleep until 9 o'clock that night. You bet not take no nap on his watch. Your whole house will be redecorated. My mother used to get insulted. Girl, you don't call nobody. Me and my ex-husband used to just sit on the couch with no music, no TV, no nothing, when he would finally go to bed like, he's asleep. You understand? And I allowed my mother to keep. She said, bring my baby over here. I said, okay, bet him up. I went to work, went and picked him up, went all the way to the west side from the north side, and Afro Elite tell you that's a hike. Okay, and my mother lived in Austin, and I lived in Rogers Park, so he know where I had, and I'm taking the train. I dropped him off at 6 o'clock Friday night. By 8 o'clock Saturday morning, girl, this boy won't sit down. Girl, I'm sorry that I said what I said to you. Now I know why you don't have no energy to call your mama. I said, yeah, touche. And you enjoy your gift until Sunday. And I was able to sleep. But I tell you, I think of those fond memories, and I think about the journey that I took with my son, and now he's a functional adult who has lived outside of the house now. Phoenix will be 40. Oh, Phoenix has lived outside the house, I want to say about maybe 17 years now. Okay. And he's been working at it's a place that's just for special needs people called the Douglas Center in Skokie. And he's been working there for almost that amount of time. So I'm very proud and happy of his progress and his success, because when he was a little boy, I was very afraid because I didn't know what it was going to be like for him when he became you all. You understand? And knowing that, and now I have another child 18 years behind him. She's 21. Good goodness gracious. I thought
we around the same age then. I said we around the same age then.
Yes. I thought I had a bladder infection and it was my daughter. Yeah. And I didn't think I could have any more children. And I wasn't on any kind of contraceptives or anything. And once my son was about 12, I just didn't think I was going to have another baby. But she came forth, and I'm very grateful. And it's her goal to become a pediatric psychiatrist and help children that deal with cutting and depression and suicide, because my baby experienced that. You understand? Cool. And she said, Mama, I want to help kids that went through some of the same things that I went through. She said, I want to help Black children who go through these things and go through the trauma and things like that. And I'm very, very, very proud of her. You understand? Because I work with young people. I'm around young people, quite a bit. And, I see the brothers on the Ave, some of the brothers that's on the Ave where I walk through, because I live close to where I work. Many of them have been students of the teacher that I work with. She's taking them to church with her. You understand? She's a true educator, the woman that I work with. You understand? And it's ever so important when you take on the role of teaching that you don't allow your personal views and feelings about the world to come into that classroom, because that's not why you're there. You understand? You're there to help someone to become functional, someone to be able to learn how to read, write, count. And I don't care if you're Black, white, Asian, Latin, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at a child in the school that I'm at. I'm now having an influx of the Asian people that look like they're Mongolian, but their language is Russian. You know, we have a group of them coming in now. Yeah, we have quite a few because on the north side of Chicago, Afro Elite tell you that's where a lot of immigrants come to.
Yeah, especially a lot of Ukrainians.
Yeah, a lot of the European immigrants and the Asian immigrants, they're all in the north side.
I mean, within the community that I'm in Rogers Park, which borders on Devon, 6400 North, to Howard, 7600 North, from Sheridan, which is the lake, all the way to Western, then that turns into West Rogers Park. There's over 69 languages spoken in this community. And I've lived in this community since I was 20 years old. And now I'm 61. Well, I was married to an artist. So a lot of the things that happen artistically, Afro Elite tell you, tends to happen on the north side, you know, as far as the nightlife and the clubs. And like I said, I was married to a rock guitarist, but, you know, he did blues, he did rock, he did jazz, you know. And
no R&B?
Yeah, he did R&B when that was there, but you got to realize, Spidey, on the north side, a lot of the clubs are either reggae, jazz, alternative. I mean, those are the forums. Now, you can have R&B type of shows, but those tend to take place, Afro Elite too, that tend to take place more on the south side.
Exactly. Yeah. North side is
downtown.
North side is predominantly white.
Believe it or not, even though I wouldn't even, it's predominantly white, we have a large concentration of many other ethnicities. Like I said,
right.
As far as Africans, I'm around Nigerians, Ghanaians, people from Uganda, Somalia, Ethiopia, South Africa, Kenya. You know, so, and I mean, I've been around for decades. You know what I mean? I work with children at my school. I have children at my school that are African, Hispanic, Black, white, European white, as well as the Asians who are the Mongolians that are in. So we have a mixture of children, and I think it's great because these children get to grow up around each other. They get to know each other as people. That was one of the reasons, well, you know, when I met my ex-husband, he lived on the north side. So, of course, I came to where he was, but it was a great experience in the sense of having children because my kid got an opportunity to be around everybody. And I taught my daughter, I said, because one time when she was in second grade, I'll never forget it, I think a little Mexican girl made her mad, right? And she made a reference to her race. And I stopped her. I said, look here, Kalila. I say, know this. If you don't like somebody, let it be because they have poor character. I said, we don't get to pick this uniform. What we have is what we have. Now, how we move as a human being, we determine that. You understand? I said, Kalila, I don't care if they name Hernandez, Rodriguez, Travasky, Lee. You don't like them, let it be because they're a poor character. I say, let it be because they're an asshole, not because of their ethnicity.
Those sorry to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
Those south of the Borderians, though, they can be problematic down in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, if you allow them to be. My mama said, you can't let nobody do more than what you allow them to do. So what does that mean? You stop them.
They about to take they about to take over the west side, unfortunately. Buying up homes and shit.
They're getting the opportunity because guess what? Redline is still going on. That ain't never stopped. That's the funny thing about all of this stuff that they talk about, Jim Crow, redlining, this, that. I'm like, man, that ain't never stopped.
Exactly.
Some new curtains on the window, but it's still the same damn view. Same damn view.
Yeah, it never stopped. They just use different terms. Same thing.
No matter how many times they change the wallpaper and the curtain, you're still looking in the toilet.
Right.
You got to be wise and aware. And you have to make the effort. Try to make a way, make a space, make a place. Because like I said, we can sit there all day and argue about the way that we should do things. or whom doing this or doing that. But the main thing we have to ask ourselves is what am I doing? How am I affecting positive change? When I go into my workplace, my mindset is, look, I'm here to affect positive change in a young person's mind. Because even though I'm in a self-contained program, I'm still involved with the other students in school. You understand? And they know, Auntie. And I'm like, yes. I say, you're not telling the truth. You answer too fast. But just like the Simmons to give them a smile when they know they're not correct, I give them that. That's what we're doing today. And I'm like, yeah, because guess what? I got to show you it's a boundary out here. Because if I don't show you it's a boundary out here and you cross it, there's somebody out here just waiting to eliminate you in one way or the other.
Exactly.
You understand? So, that's just Auntie's take. But I had to speak on the young lady that came on saying they should unite and we get ready to jump on everybody and us as
and it's crazy. And like I said in the video too, I said go ahead and do that because the person who posted the video, they made sure to tag the FBI, the FBI Twitter account. I said, so if you get a knock on your door saying FBI open up, you can refer right back to that video. Hey, you incriminated yourself.
You said that, but I gotta let you know, nephew, that video that you showed, the one where they was at that hockey game.
that was crazy. They was playing the Dallas. Yeah, they was playing the Dallas Stars. But yeah, that's typical at a hockey game.
Mind, I said, how high he have to be? He looked like he was about 5'7", 150. That dude he stood up to looked like a wall with arms coming out the side.
Right.
A wide back. All I could see was football pads on his shoulders, a helmet, and a defensive back.
Yeah.
That dude being the quarterback. That's what I saw.
He knocked him back. I said if it wasn't people right there, he would have fell into the next row.
And then his girlfriend took Hercules pill one time. I'm like, okay, you get put to sleep too. Let's see if we can find you a certain silly mattress. You gonna need one.
Miss Sean, before
yes, sir.
Before you go, I got a comment about what's gonna happen in a few days now. All I gotta say is watch out for Paul Vallis. Watch out for Paul Vallis. Let me tell you something
about old Billy Goat #1. Because I call both of them Billy Goats because they got these beards and they got gray in them. Every time I see the commercial.
Brandon Johnson.
All I get here is nay. All I get here is a goat. But I'm gonna tell you about Paul Vallis. He didn't fund the teacher's pension for 10 years. 10 years. Because they pay 2/3 of the pension and you pay 1/3. Now, if you quit or if you get fired, you can only get back what you put in. If you retire, you get all of it. And he didn't fund the teacher's pension. Brandon Johnson has been a Chicago public school teacher. And he has also been a Cook County Board Commissioner. So he does.
He got Sambo's tendencies too, just in my opinion.
All do. You understand one thing, baby. For the most part, you can't really get in the game unless you don't do some of the things these people want you to do. That's why it is important for us with our vote. First of all, it's important for us to organize, whether we're a Chamber of Congress, Action Center, whatever title or moniker you want to put on it. And we have to galvanize our people in our communities, and we have to really basically grow our own candidates. Personally, I don't have any faith in the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Because as far as I'm concerned, they two wings on the same dirty bird.
Yeah. And that dirty bird is a pigeon. The dirtiest bird ever is that pigeon.
I feel the kids was insulted for even being used in their vernacular for their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
but they all
say,
in bed together.
Right.
So I think it really needs to be a new party. It's like if I was to think of myself I think of myself as an independent. I don't, it's about who is going to do the job and what plan do they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I find these ministers, I'm looking at TV, looking at the commercials. I'm like, it's funny, you all don't ever say anything, but now you're up here telling us, well, you should vote for Brandon Johnson, or you should vote for Paul Vallis. And when I hear all of that from any of those people that back them, all that plays out in my mind is, what did they promise you? Because nobody's doing something for nothing. Not in that game.
Exactly.
And of course, Vallis, he was under Daley Jr.'s regime, so he's trouble.
Oh please! I remember the daddy and I remember the son.
Of course, like I said, not to hold you up, but I actually have a quick story to tell you about Daley Jr. because at the institution or the school that I'm attending right now, I actually have this acquaintance who I see often who actually was in the Navy at one time, but then he transferred over into the U.S. Marshals, and he was assigned to Chicago. I think he was guarding like some cop in the hospital who was under federal indictment for transporting I'll just say some weight from Florida to Chicago. Now I'm starting to wonder, was that cop part of Pac-Man's crew, also known as the Austin 7? You should know that, Miss Shawn.
I know all about the Austin 7. I grew up in Austin.
But anyway,
I grew up in Austin. Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, the reason why I bring that up here's a kicker. He was a federal. Now this is a federal officer we're talking about here. Like I said, a U.S. Marshal, and he told me, which by the way, he's actually from the Bronx, but like I said, you get moved around different places when you work for the government. But anyway, he actually ended up telling me that Daley was having Chicago police officers arresting federal officers, and he was one of them. And had him in lockup. And one of the prosecutors that was the federal prosecutors that was actually investigating Daley Jr. ended up getting fired. Now he said you can all go look this back up in the archives, but I got to figure out where to go find different stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to do more research on this.
I got to get out of here.
All right.
So I just wanted to, I didn't want to just leave without saying goodbye. So
I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you coming.
Congratulations again, Tori. I'm gonna still be listening, but I can't. I got some stuff I gotta handle. So, but congratulations, and y'all have a good rest of y'all day.
You too.
Right. It's good to see you, Afro Elite.
Good to see you too, 1T.
Peace, Afro.
Peace, brother.
Well, I tell you about
a question.
Chicago. Chicago is very notorious and nefarious, baby. You understand? And it's a lot of things you gotta remember. Daddy Daley was in the Irish gang before he became the upright.
He got Kennedy elected.
Right.
Along with Giancana.
Right, but way before he was ever political, he was out there in the streets.
Yep, like 1919.
Now. Right. The same, and it's funny that you brought up nephew about your Black Massacre series.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting to watch that because that's real close to me. Because I think I told you about my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He was a part of that thing that happened in Lane, Arkansas in 1919.
Okay.
And
I think that's one of the spots that's on my list because that sounds real familiar.
Yes, and for me, it's not so much that it's triggering, but it's like I just feel the energy of the ancestors. My granddad, because he laid down 5 white men. And guess what? If he didn't do that, it wouldn't have been. That happened in 1919, right?
Yeah.
And he had already had my Aunt B, my Aunt Ada Bell, and my Aunt Delilah, who died in a fire when my mother was 2. But they never, you know, a lot of times they don't talk about a lot of stuff and you don't push, you know. But if he hadn't did what he did, my Aunt Samantha wouldn't have been born in 1923. My Aunt Catherine wouldn't have been born in 1925. My mother, Macy Lee, wouldn't have been born in 1927. And my Aunt George Ann wouldn't have been born in 1929. So if you put it in perspective, nephew, you wouldn't even be having this damn conversation with me right now.
Right.
You feel me?
He had to listen. He had to do what he had to do. Like, you know.
Oh,
like
let me tell you, Ira Toole. Now, you know, most of us carry Irish names, right? His name was O'Toole, but my grandfather said, and I quote, he said, "I don't look like no damn Irishman." So he took the O off his name. So you can understand why your auntie is kind of like how she is. You know what I mean? You know, but you know, I'm gonna watch every last one of those, and I'm going to share them because it's a great teacher that I work with, young black teacher that's a male. Got his hair like me, you know what I mean? And I sent him a lot of your stuff. And when he has time, he said, "Yeah, I dig that, brother." I said, "Well, you know, you all around the same age. I think you might be." He's 32.
Okay.
So you guys are basically in the same generation, and trust me, all the content that is valuable and thought provoking and that makes you think critically, Auntie shares all of this. That's why I'm always on these platforms with you guys. And even though everybody might not always agree with everybody, right? Long as you are doing positive works and you are doing things to uplift your people and enlighten them, Torian, you're going to always be blessed. And plus, you got the same. It's funny, they say you look like Luda, but actually, you don't look like Luda to me. You remind me of my nephew who goes by the name of Lamont, but he actually has your first name.
Wow.
Named him. I ain't going to say sorry name on there, but I know he knows his name. Yeah, you know what I mean? But my nephew's first name, your name.
Nice.
First name. Yeah. Yeah, I found that that's how I know you was a kindred spirit. And he's from what? Newport News. So you almost a hologram of him down there in the DMV. You know what I mean?
That's crazy because that's where my dad is from.
See what I mean? And now both of my nephews are here in Chicago, where they have been for many years. They came back to where their mother and father was from. And my sister moved back almost 2 years ago. This is 23. No, she moved back last year after being gone from Chicago for 50 years. She left in 1972 when she was 25. And she came back when she was 75. You know, so now all of my siblings and with the exception of my brother in Oklahoma, we are all here together. So, you know, I feel good about that. But I'm not gonna hold you guys. I'm gonna let somebody else talk. You know, old folks will run their mouth. They be like, "God,
hey, you know what? You know I love you coming up here because I always like chatting up with people and listening to your nice spirits. And
Spidey always like to ask me questions. I like that. You say, "What do you think about so and so?" Then I have to be. Let me go back to the 8-track days. Okay,
hey, if you can't tell by now, I'm an avid history student, so I gotta keep on asking questions.
If you don't know I've always loved history. If you don't never know about the past, you can never understand what is going on in the present, because the past does affect the present, and it can determine how you perceive your future. But I just want to say this to everybody. Continue pushing on what it is that you need to do. Sometimes things are not going to come exactly when you think they're supposed to, but guess what? The Most High God opens the roads. He opens the portals. All you got to do is keep your energy honed and put it in a positive place, and try to have a connection with one another, and try to have respect. And that goes for all melanated people, no matter where they're from. Because one thing's for certain, two things for sure. These demons don't care about us, whether I'm from the west side of Chicago, whether nephew from the DMV, whether you from Kenya, whether you from Haiti, whether you from
Montserrat. Let's not forget about MKE, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now,
thank you. Oh yeah, let's shout out the Emperor of Beers, where they brew beer up there. You know, shout out to Laverne and Shirley, even though that wasn't a real brewery. Shots Brewery. Shout out to Milwaukee. That's right. You understand? Wherever you are, make sure that you are doing what you need to do to keep what? going forward. Because guess what? We never know when the switch gonna get flicked off, and we want to try to do as much as we can do within this dimension. Because once we cross the other side, guess what? You're gonna have some more work over there. Don't be fooled thinking you going somewhere and you gonna rest. Quit believing that lie. I really believe when you transcend and you jump on the other side, I'll be like, yeah, man, this looks really nice. Man, I'm gonna chill. Somebody gonna walk up to me and say, hey, your name was Sean. Yeah. Okay, here you go. What's this? That's your work order. What do you mean your work order? They always told me I was gonna rest when I come over here. Oh, you talk about them people you just left. They don't know a damn thing about what's going on over here. You better get to work. And I be like, man, this some straight up yes, man. I thought I was going to do. But I think that is the analogy and the symbolism that as long as your spirit and your soul has work to do, it continues to generate. It continues to live on. So we're going to be doing work, whether we're here in this human shell or we're in the spirit world or wherever it is that we go, because we don't know until it's time for us to go there. Exactly. And you shouldn't know until it's time for you to go there, because we got to concentrate on here. So, nephew, I'm signing off.
Thank you.
Congrats on your 60K. And I'm going to be coming back again. I'll make sure my hair done when you get 100K. So I come on here and act like Shanae, because I'm a lady.
Take care of Miss Sean.
You have a good one.
Love y'all. Love y'all and peace to everybody. Bye.
Brothers and sisters, that was the official auntie of the channel, as y'all already know. Always coming up here dropping wisdom as she usually does. Always great to hear from her, most definitely. I got a couple more super chats to do. Hold on, that wasn't it. Shout out to Afro Elite again, who was just up here, for the $5 super chat. Again, if y'all have not subscribed to Afro Elite's channel, please be sure to go and do so. He is another major voice in the new black media. And also shout out to Mo.J for the $60 super chat. He said, congrats, brother. Keep up the good work. And definitely shout out to you, Mo. I can't wait for you to get to 40K, because remember what we said, I got 60, you get 40, together we got 100. It's going to be a celebration. If y'all haven't done so already, make sure to go check out his channel as well. He does a lot of television reviews as well on his channel for various different shows. He's coming up on 40K, so he's coming up on a milestone himself on his channel as well. But yeah, definitely, that's, I love that's why I like having the Freestyle Fridays. I always get to hear from the people, because like I said, y'all hear from me every single day. I like to hear what's going on with y'all in your life, even though, we here with the 60K plus, I can say, but it's always good to hear from everybody to get their perspective on different topics and different things, just whatever it is they want to talk about. It's a kickback. And to think, when I started doing this, it was only once a year. To those of you who are new to my channel, it was always it was just the New Year's show. Like, it was the last, maybe not New Year's Eve, but the day before New Year's Eve or whatever that was. And that's whenever I would do the stream where I would let people come up like now and speak now. And I said, you know what? I need to expand that and have that happen every Friday. And that's how it's been for probably like the last couple of years. And I'm glad that I decided to go that route, to have it every every week, unless specified otherwise, because there might be a situation that comes up and I can't go live that particular day, or maybe it's because I just don't feel like going live that day. It happens. Sometimes I can be tired. So
hey, you got your life. You can't always be doing stuff for people.
Exactly. And like I said, that's why I like doing these, because like I said, it's a kickback. I don't have to worry about gathering topics to talk about. This is one of them things where the conversation just goes wherever it goes. It's it's just what it is. It's nothing structured. But if anybody else would like to come up, I'm only going to be on here for like the next 20 minutes, because like I said, I like to keep it at 2 hours when it comes to the Freestyle Fridays. The link is at the top, is pinned at the top of the chat. If y'all would like to come up and speak for the next couple of minutes, you feel free to do so. Spidey, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I want to ask a question, Tori. You plan on speaking on that this Pearly thing and this whole manosphere. I mean, I know I just did a video about it, but I'm still sitting back and watching the fireworks at the brother TBA really put that on blast. But you plan on doing any videos, any commentary about it?
A lot of people have been asking me if I planned on talking about that, but honestly, I'm kind of leaving that one alone because then I don't want that to turn into like a major focal point of my channel. Because like if I do one, then I gotta make another one and another, because there's so many moving parts to that thing. It's so much to that, and it's crazy because that you brought that up, because I was just getting ready to ask people, did anybody listen to The Business when he did that pull up or shut up show? Because that was my first time actually calling in to The Business or anything Jason Black related, whether, you know, no matter what channel it was, whether it was his TBA channel or his The Business channel. That was my first time ever calling into that show. I mean, to that broadcast, excuse me. That was my first time ever calling into that broadcast. And I said it was amazing to see the love that I got from the people in the chat when they saw my name pop up on the screen. I started to talk, and literally as the chat was scrolling up, like literally like warp speed, all I kept seeing is Torian, B1 Torian. That's literally all I saw. And I had to like condition myself not to look at the chat, because I wouldn't have been able to focus on the topic and what you were discussing. But yeah, like I called in when he did that particular stream a couple nights ago. I forgot what day it was, and that was a long stream too. Like that was an almost 8-hour stream. I thought that was almost I said that was almost an entire work day. But I called in, and I think Kid Gravity called in before I did, and then I called and just gave my 2 cents on the topic. The conversation was real brief because, you know, Jason Black doesn't like long, drawn out discussions. He's like, get to the point, get off the phone, go to the next person. So you know, so that was definitely quite the experience. And I said I would definitely, depending on what the topic is, I would definitely call in again. And someone had asked me, was I nervous? Like when I had called in, like they had tweeted me and said that we saw you had called into The Business, and they asked me, was I nervous? I said no, because I'm on here talking every single day. So, you know, I'm used to it by now. And as long as I have a grasp on what is being discussed, then it's going to be real easy for me to give my opinion on whatever is being talked about.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's The Business that says this one quote that I agree with him on. Is that you got to watch out for some of these old Negroes. You have to watch out.
Oh yeah. I remember I had posted that quote up on Twitter, and somebody got mad at me when I said that. I said, I guess a hit dog hollered that day. And the thing is, the person who got mad at me wasn't even old. Like they got mad on the behalf, I guess, of them right there. And I said, okay, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But then as time goes on, that quote becomes more and more relevant, and I guess you can say more truthful when you think about it in hindsight.
For an example, I don't know if you saw this, but CNN is about to make a huge mistake for what they are more than likely going to bring to their fall schedule starting this upcoming fall. They're trying to hire Gayle King and Charles Barkley for TV.
I heard about that. I think Harvey did a video about it, but I don't think I watched it yet. Go ahead, Amar. What did you say?
Oh, I wasn't cutting you off. I'm sorry. I just said, wow, those two fools.
Yeah,
man.
That's a huge mistake. That's an ultimate insult. I mean, look at all the stuff that Gayle has pulled off, but have you not heard all the stuff that Charles Barkley has said over the years?
Racial profiles, right?
Yeah, of course. And I'm actually shocked that Charles Barkley, that they would hire him over at CNN, considering his views are more Fox News based. But I mean, I think CNN, they're trying to shift and pivot into a different direction, going the more conservative, quote unquote, route, away from the route that they are currently at right now.
Don about to get up out there. Donna Lemonade, he's on his last leg at CNN.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me say I got someone else who wants to come up. And this is a first timer coming up to the panel, but definitely somebody who is a huge contributor to these chats over here. and definitely a person who always contributes whenever they can, and I do mean whenever they can. But shout out to Janesta for coming up to the panel for the first time, at least on my panel.
Good
What's
evening,
going on,
Miss
Janesta?
Good afternoon, everyone. How y'all doing? Can't y'all hear
Doing
me?
good.
We're
Yeah,
doing
we can
good.
hear
We
you.
can hear you.
I just want to say congratulations to my brother, and I enjoy all your content. And I very nervous right now. I just did this on the whim, but I'm
No
glad that
problem.
your platform is growing, and I'm not. Excuse me, but anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan of your work, and I'm enjoying all your hard dedication to the Black community. So congratulations, and I hope it continues even further.
Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for coming up to to tell me that and I know you said you were nervous. I said no need to be nervous. I think everybody was probably nervous at one time before they came up to speak. It is what it is, but the fact is that you came up here. Is this your first time actually coming up like on a panel, like when it was like an open discussion like this, like ever on anybody's page or channel?
Congratulations! This is my first time doing it. That's why I'm shaking.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's a reason why I said that. Rob, if you're in the chat, take that. Because I know, because the reason why I said, because we know that because I always see you in Rob's chat as well, because you're over there subscribed to his channel. TD Hip Hop Media, just talking with TD and Rob. You're over here and things of that nature. And like I said, you are a huge contributor to not just my channel, but to all our channels.
That is so sweet of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you are. Go ahead.
I try to support my Black content. Shout out to Nicole View. Every time I think about her, I heard your voice, and she told people to subscribe to your channel, and I was like, oh yes, this brother got a sexy voice. I'm definitely gonna follow him. I'm definitely gonna follow him. And then I branched out, and it looked like you young people are doing a great job. I'm so impressed with you and Rob and Nicole and TD Media. I'm very proud of y'all. I wish I had YouTube back in my day. Yeah, but I'm glad that your platforms is growing, and I'm scared to continue to talk, but I'm so happy for you.
No problem.
We're glad that you came up here, ma'am.
Hi, Spidey. Hi, everyone else.
Hey, sister, how you doing?
So, keep up with the good work, and maybe next time I won't be as nervous. But yeah, you are my first.
Thank you for coming. You broke the ice on my channel. I just had to get at Rob. I don't even know if Rob is still in chat because he didn't pop up and say anything back. I just had to ask that question because I wanted to be sure. I said Rob got all those variants, but you came up onto my panel first.
Well, of course, I was gonna come up first. I wanted to talk to you briefly about Donald Trump, but do you think he's going to jail or not? Because they say he could still run for president, even though if he's convicted.
I don't know. He could probably, knowing him and the connections that he has, he might be able to slither his way like a serpent out of this one. I don't know. I know that Ron the Snowflake is probably smiling from ear to ear right now, because this actually probably helps him. But I keep telling people, if y'all thought 45 was bad and that y'all don't like 46, let the Snowflake become 47 and you see what he's doing down there in Florida.
Exactly.
Imagine letting him do this nationwide.
Right.
Then y'all really gonna have to worry. And I told people that since day one, and I don't even live in Florida.
The House of Mouse just got back at his ass a few days ago.
I heard about that.
It's a black DA. I'm concerned about his life. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know he was black until today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
So
yeah, I agree. I agree with some of the people in the chat. Miss Renee and Chris and Jab Bab, all three of them said nope, they don't believe Trump is going to jail, and I have to kind of agree with that. Like, I don't think that he's going to do any type of time. I think this is more of a publicity thing right here. You know, just to say, oh, he got indicted. Oh, this is going to happen. I said I'll believe it when I see it. And even if 45 does go to jail, we know he ain't going to go to jail, you know. But
and he might spend that much time there anyway if he do go. I really think he's going to be our next president, unfortunately. I mean, who is a good connection? I mean, who is a good candidate for presidential in your opinion?
I have no clue. I'm gonna be honest. I would probably nominate a pencil sharpener before some of the people that they have trying to line up to possibly be president. I don't know who. I would have to see. Like, in the if what we have right now is what they want to present, then the options are very slim. So I don't know. Like, I can't call it right now.
I would have cammed up, but my hair don't look right because it's been raining all day. It's been raining all day, but I would try to do this again soon. But I'm glad that I was finally able to talk to you face to face. And like I said, everybody is impressive to me. Rob, TJ, Nicole, all y'all are very impressive to me.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. And congratulations again.
Okay. Thank you.
You too.
All right. Let's see. I want to get these last couple of people in here so they can get their words in before I cut the stream. We got Isaiah and Buzzer Cam in here. What's going on with y'all?
Good.
Good. That's
I'm doing good. How are you two today?
Doing great. Doing great.
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How you doing, Dorian? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Congratulations on making on 60 subbies this week. I'm happy for you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, keep doing more content as well as you can. I've been missing out what videos you did lately, especially this or whatever bigger name
AOC.
Understand? Yes,
AOC. Yeah, her.
Yeah, AOC. Yeah, I know it is. What she said about what happened recently. I've been looking for whatever she said because she be awful working anyway. Along with the other Latina really some type of way, especially Eva Longoria recently. I didn't know you guys heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Harvey had spoke about her on this channel.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. I was wondering if you heard that. If you had you.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard about what she's. I definitely heard about what Eva Longoria said. I said she's at a point now where I would say in her career, but what's the last time we've seen Eva Longoria on the small or the big screen? So I guess this is her way of re-emerging, so to speak, people with her presence by doing this. Ain't nobody checking for Eva Longoria nowadays. Eva Longoria's time has come and gone. Like, you know, back in the day, everybody was hanging off Eva Longoria for those who knew her or knew of her. But, you know, now it's like, okay, do what you do. But I think this is just all of a way of trying to get people to say, hey, my name is Eva Longoria. I'm still around. And the thing is, I'm going to be honest, the last time we really saw Eva Longoria really out and about like that was when she used to be married to Tony Parker. I mean, let's be real here. She, you know, if she was like, huh?
You talking about what does Harvey call them? The French Negro or the
Tony Parker? Negro? Yeah, like, you know, like at that, I remember at one point when Eva Longoria, you know, she did little shows back then, but then, you know, she really blew up after she did that show Desperate Housewives, and that's when really people started to pay attention to her. And then when that show got canceled, she got, you know, was married to Tony Parker. Then it got to the point where she wasn't really in movies like that anymore, to the point where people were starting to just know her as Tony Parker's wife. Like, she literally rescinded in her celebrity, like to the point where they had to start labeling her as Tony Parker's wife. And I'm like, you had a whole name before we knew who Tony Parker was. Many of us knew who you were before him. So, it is what it is. But, she's always said that, she was always seen as the dirty Mexican because she was the more tanned Latina, and she wasn't the white Latina like, say, a J-Lo or a Selena Gomez. But, Eva, do what you do. It is what it is. And shout out to Cosmo Fury. He said she didn't even want to be a good wife to Tony Parker because she put her career first. But yeah, so it is what it is.
And Torian,
what's going on?
And what you said about Ron DeSantis, what if becomes president, and his foreign policy, if that happens, this might be worse too.
Yeah. Like I said, I told people from the get-go, if Ron the Snowflake or Ron the Satan, as I got two nicknames from, as y'all know, if that man becomes president, we are going to, it's going to feel like going to hell in a handbasket. I keep telling people, like again, if y'all thought 45 was bad, or if you don't like 46, let Ron DeSantis become number 47, and you're probably going to be begging for 45 and probably 46 to come back. Maybe not necessarily 46, maybe partially 45. But y'all gonna be like, oh my God, because I'm telling you, he's gonna try to take his policies that he only has in Florida and expand it nationwide. I don't know if y'all heard, but there was a movie that surprisingly that shocked me, that was made by Disney, which was about, and some of y'all may have seen it when you was kids, about Ruby Bridges. Yes, it was the movie about Ruby Bridges. That movie, I saw that movie for the first time when I was in middle school, which was a couple years after the movie got released. And I was shocked to hear that Disney made it, considering, if I vividly remember, that movie had some heavy tones in it for a Disney movie. But, Disney, they kind of went there a little bit back then. They kind of scaled back a little bit nowadays. They probably would never make something like that today. But it was a parent down there that complained about the movie. Just one parent who was most likely PC complained, and because of their one complaint, they ended up banning the movie from being shown in school. Now, this was not a petition that was drawn up by a group of parents. It wasn't a protest by a group of people. It was one PC parent,
one person
problem with it. And because they had a problem with it, they ended up banning the movie from ever being shown again in that school. Just one person. And the thing is, that goes back to what Ron DeSantis has turned that state of Florida into. Because that movie has been shown for years. You gotta think that movie came out in 1998. It's
the year I was born.
The movie is over almost 25 years old. And now they have a problem with it. But remember what Ron DeSantis has put into place of the quote-unquote Stop Woke Act. We know what woke means. So yeah, and that's why I say, if you think about that, which is going on with that, imagine taking from what is going on in just the state of Florida alone and making it a national thing. And imagine what else they'll try to take out of schools next. And I'm telling you, most of it is going to be anything related to Black people. And the thing is, the movie was shown during Black History Month. It's not like this was recent. This complaint came during Black History Month. And they've made a mockery of that month every single year for the last couple of years. How many times have we heard of them doing mock slave auctions or making Black kids pick cotton with their nose, which I did a story about a couple weeks ago. Like, literally. But then they have the nerve to say, stop being woke or stop living in the past. I said, y'all can't stop living in the past, apparently, because y'all want to act and imitate your ancestors so bad, but then get mad when we bring up reparations. I said, the jokes practically write themselves.
Hey, what if Gavin Newsom runs?
A lot of people are thinking that, he probably could run.
Foreign policy.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I don't know. Like we'll have to see when that time comes, but it's crazy because 2024, that's next year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if the Satan or Newsom doesn't run this time around, I will definitely say they're going to save themselves for 2028 because that's the next presidential election after next year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll just have to see how everything pretty much plays itself out because I would say that it's too early to call because we don't know all the people because I think the thing is everyone's hanging off of is Trump going to run? Is Trump going to run? That's literally what
he already has declared.
Like that's all that people really keep talking about is Trump going to run for president? Like that's all people keep talking about.
I think he's already launched his campaign
to the point where you really don't hear about much of anybody else.
Come on again.
That's true.
I think he already launched his campaign already. I think he already is running.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, this is going to be another, I guess you could say, interesting, campaign. I will say this though, when going back to 2016, I will admit this: watching those debates was comedic gold, mainly because of 45 and the antics that he was pulling on that podium every time he got up there to speak against somebody and the stuff that he would be saying about different people. That I'll admit, I got a little ha ha he he in there, every now and then when he was up there. Like I said, that was just entertaining.
Yeah.
And the thing is that in the same time.
Oh yeah, Dorian, right quick on that word woke, right quick, man. Let me tell you, when people call me woke, I don't even get mad about it no more.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, because I think I'm gonna tell you why I think it's a compliment. Because I'm gonna tell you this: I'd rather be woke to the truth than sleep to the lies.
Right.
Never feel guilty for being woke. Woke will take you very far.
I never feel guilty about it.
They say Obama started making that walk too much, I think.
Yeah, like Harvey had mentioned that in one of his videos that Obama was like one of the first people to mention woke in the terminology in the way that white people use it nowadays. See, even they basically he helped redefine the word and they took it and they ran with it. But I am so glad that Breonna Joy Gray tripped up Bethany Mandel when she asked her, "Can you define woke for me? Like, how would you define it?" And mind you, she asked her to define it in the way that she wrote it in her book, and she couldn't even do that. So that's why it had people question, did she even write the book? Like, because first off, we already knew the definition that she gave was just some off the wall definition anyway, and it wasn't the right one. And I'm glad that happened, and I'm glad it happened on a public platform in the way that it did, and it wasn't like some behind the scenes thing. When it happened, I was like, no, you definitely embarrassed yourself and got embarrassed, and you are out here looking like a whole fraud, and that's exactly what you are.
And about Trump earlier, Trump wanted to get rid of the U.S. Constitution.
I will say that U.S. Constitution needs some reworking for sure. Definitely, I would say some of it is very outdated. Of course, when it comes to the amendments, though, we already know PC hangs on to that first and second one like a security blanket. The right to free speech and the right to bear arms. If they don't know any other amendment, they gonna know those two. They live, sleep, breathe, think it. Those two in particular. But see, they always misconstrue that first one though, because they think they can just say anything and nothing's going to happen. They said, yeah, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequence. So yes, you have the right to say whatever it is that you want. But if there's consequences to follow, consequences will be had. That's just the point, and that's just what it is.
That's what Chris Rock should have learned.
Oh, right. Exactly. F around and you find out.
Hey, not to switch it up, I just
And
want to know,
people say I'm
Torian,
bad as well.
what shows you watching at this moment? Are you watching the new Power that just came out?
Yes, I am. I've been watching. Listen, I've been watching Power since the first episode of the original Power, going back to like 2014. Probably, I don't think I've missed one episode. Like, I'm actually a huge fan of that show. Matter of fact, I did watch the latest episode that came on today.
Oh, I'm about to watch it. With no I don't like to put the spoilers out, but would you think that the first show was a little over the top with the African lady? Remember the villain, the new villain.
Oh. Okay.
Would you think that was a little over the top the way they introduced her?
No, I actually liked it. It kind of gives me a scary element. Like, they actually now, like, this is a serious threat right here. Like, she ain't playing no games. It's crazy. Oh, I'm not sure. Like, another show that I'm watching is Bel Air. Like, because the second season is on right now, and the actor who plays Uncle Phil on Bel Air is married to that actress you're talking about. I found that out like last week.
Wow.
That's his wife. So you got a husband and a wife, both in TV, but on two different shows that have two different themes. So I thought that was very
how do you like Power Book Force or the one with Tommy?
That one has to grow on to me. Like, that for me was a slow burn. I didn't gravitate towards that one too fast, like the original Power or Ghost or Raising Kanan. Those three I caught on real quick and was like, okay, I'm locked in with these. Force, I have to get used to it. Like, for me, it's like I felt like I had to drag myself sometimes to watch it. But after, I would say, once it got to maybe the second half of the season, then I started to come around more into it to see where the story is going forward. But I'm looking forward, slightly to whatever they're going to do with the second season. It was kind of messed up with one of the characters that they did do in that particular series, because I grew to like her character, and when they did what they did without spoiling it, I think it caught everybody by surprise. Anybody who watched the show knows exactly which character I'm talking about. Because I did not expect it. I was like, wait a minute, did they just do that in the first season? I'm like, if you was going to do that, couldn't you wait until a couple more seasons down the line to do that? But in the first season,
what you saying is true, because she really carried. She
really did. Like, a lot of people really liked her character even more than Tommy in his own show. Right. Like, a lot of people like one of my favorite scenes in that in the show, in that season, was when the doc went on a date and she had to go with her. And when the doc had told her, he was like, "Who is this?" She said, "I'm her cousin." He's like, "What?" And for those of y'all don't know, the doc was a black woman, and the character we're talking about, she's I want to say Italian or maybe Hispanic or something like that. So when she said she was her cousin, her date, who was a black guy, was like, "Your cousin?" She's like, "Yeah." He was like, "Blood related?" She's like, "Huh." Well, I thought that was funny, and I like the development of their relationship too, because at first the doc was kind of scared of her because the character that we're talking about was kind of intimidated by her. But over time, they actually grew a bond, and I think that was another reason why I wish they didn't do what they did with her character, because they became so close. So it is what it is. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the rest of the season, especially now that Tommy now knows he has a brother, and we have a whole story with his brother, and then we find out about his son, and like, so just, I would say a lot of the side stories on that show, in my opinion, is what pushes that show forward even more so than Tommy's storyline, and that's his show.
It works.
So I think that's what's helping it.
What about Lorenz Tate's character in the Power universe?
Oh, that's a good character.
He's a snake.
Yeah,
he is.
They were supposed.
I'm surprised he's still alive. Honestly.
They were supposed to make a fifth series, if I'm not mistaken, around his character.
That's what I heard.
They canceled it.
Yeah, but I think they scrapped it.
Yeah, remember 50 don't really have to deal with stars no more in that situation.
Yeah, he's moving away, because he's supposed to be doing a Vice City series, which is going to be very interesting. I don't know if it's going to be based off of the Grand Theft Auto game from back in the day, but it's going to be called Vice City. And he's supposed to be working with the director of John Wick Chapter 4. So with that being said, I already know this show is going to be off the damn chain, because John Wick Chapter 4 was fire. Listen, John Wick Chapter 4 was one of the best action movies I've seen in a very long time. If y'all haven't seen John Wick Chapter 4, well, first off, if you haven't seen any John Wick movies, I highly suggest that you watch them because those are like true action films right there, and you can see the progression and the budget go up and up and up for every film. But Chapter 4 was like amazing, and I think they're supposed to be doing a spin-off movie or series based off of that, one of the characters, I think, in this movie. And I think they might be doing a prequel that's detailing how did we even get to here before what happened in the first John Wick movie. So yeah, if that's the direction that they're going in, I'm definitely looking forward to that because I really have become a fan of these John Wick movies. I've seen all 4 of them.
Do you like BMF or do you have you ever watched BMF?
I watch BMF. Great. Yeah, I love BMF is a good show too. I really love that show.
I never watched none of those. I never watched BMF. I saw a glimpse of it like these last season, like 2 years ago. I didn't take my interest that much of it. Especially the concept of it, and I see what they're doing, how they is, especially through the drugs. But the structure of it is kind of like my comparison to me. That's what my opinion.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, I actually like BMF. I actually like the storyline. Listen, Lamar is a freaking psycho. Yeah, he has. But I will say this: he is one of the best TV villains that we've seen in a long time. Like,
who's your favorite TV villain?
You say who's my favorite TV villain?
Yeah.
Right now,
ever out of all the TV shows you ever watched.
That's hard. That's kind of hard. I'm gonna be completely honest with you because there's a lot of people that can be classified as TV villains, but I can name some who are great, who are good. I just gave one with Lamar. We can say for those who watch Stranger Things, Vecna is a phenomenal villain. He like in season 4, like he came in and wrecked shop on season 4 of Stranger Things. So I would say he's definitely a good villain. And I don't think we've seen the last of him either. Speaking of last of him, Last of Us was a very good show. I don't know if anyone's watched The Last of Us or played. I didn't play the game. So when I watched the show, I was a lot, all of this was new to me. But I was locked in since episode 1, and I cannot wait for season 2. But I would say, well, the villains in that show, some of them were human. And then, of course, the infected and the clickers. We only got one bloat. We only got one bloater this season. And those things are death-defying scary to look at and hear. And hard to kill as well.
What about Stringer Bell? He's a good one.
From The Wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good one. I would say any villain from The Wire was a good villain. They fleshed their villain-like characters out really well, and I like that they weren't all the same. Because they could have easily been lazy and said, we're going to make all y'all the same type of person. It's going to be a different actor and a different character, but y'all are all going to be on the same wavelength. So, yeah.
There was a lot of snitches on the show, though.
Of course, yeah. Like, I expect that. And what's so crazy, because the wire that took place in Baltimore. So that was when they were filming that show, that was literally like 45 minutes north of me. And they used to send out casting notices all the time if you wanted to be on the show. But I think at the time, I don't think I was old enough to like submit myself for some of the stuff that they were doing. So, I mean, if I wanted to, I probably could have submitted myself for season 4 because that was the one they did with the kids. In my opinion, was the best season. That was real relatable to me, mainly because those actors were in my age bracket, so I could relate to them a little bit more than the previous seasons where those actors were older than me. So yeah, The Wire is definitely a classic series for sure. One of HBO's best series ever. Oh, well, since you're speaking of you said villains as well, the Night King on Game of Thrones is a good villain. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say Michael was a badass character. I thought it was genius how they made him the new Omar.
It was crazy how they killed Omar too, because I was not expecting them to do it the way that they did. I'm like, that not that little knuckleheaded kid. He came up in that store and blew Omar's head off right there at the register. Like, that was crazy. Like, when it was unexpected because it was off camera when it happened. It's not like you saw the person come up and walk up with the gun and just fire off. He was just standing there and pop. It was like, wait, hold on, like, what just happened? And then when they show who did it, I was like, are you kidding me? And I bet you the writers were saying the audience is going, their jaw is going to hit the floor when they see who it is. And they was right. If that was what they were saying in that writing room, then they definitely got that right, because I was left speechless. Not only at Omar getting shot and killed like that, especially since Omar was always seen as like the neighborhood bully or the neighborhood I guess you can say like the
he was more anti-hero, like, if you really think about it.
Yeah, he was the one that people, were scared of. Like, we always heard that Omar, like every time you knew he was coming, it was like, Omar coming. And here he come with that long black trench coat with that black do-rag, and he will always have a shotty under that jacket, like ready to pop off.
And that whistle, that nice ass whistle.
Yeah. But yeah, so when his character had got killed off and we saw it was that little boy, we was like, wait, what just happened? So I think that's probably up there with probably some of the most shocking TV deaths, not because he just got killed, but who did it. So The Wire is definitely a classic series. But hey, y'all, listen, I'm actually about to go ahead and end the stream. We actually went past 2 hours, but I got so wrapped up in the conversation. You know how that goes sometimes. But shout out to everybody who came up. Shout out to anybody who has subscribed to the channel. Shout out to everyone who liked and shared. Shout out to all the people who have contributed. We are 60,000 plus subscribers into this thing. The next time we do a Freestyle Friday, of course, will be at the end of April. And of course, when we hit 70K, we're going to be doing it just like this again, and on and on and on. And when we hit that 100K, that's going to be special, especially not just for my channel, but also for the new Black media as a whole. Because like I said before, when we talk about the stuff we talk about, we're not supposed to get this far. Like, that's considered an anomaly. So, but we want to try to make that as more popular as possible. So shout out to everybody who came up. Spidey, CBC, Buzzer Cam, Isaiah came up. But he left. Amar, Sean from the Shy, Afro Elite, and anyone else that came up, for this Freestyle Friday. I definitely appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm going to leave this up because this is I'm not going to make it. What was that?
With this streaming you're doing, I'm calling this black streaming because I'm doing something that's gonna make a title of what I'm doing my channel called Black Streamers. That's what I'm doing. So I'm streaming something on my channel later on if I can.
Nice. And also this was streaming and this is also streaming on Twitter. So those of y'all who are watching on Twitter, shout out to y'all as well. That's why the views look kind of low on this side, because they were split between 2 locations. Otherwise, you would have seen way more people over here, but that's okay. And that's
I'm on there.
Nice.
I'm on there.
Cool. And with that being said, we will be back on here tomorrow with the 12 and 4 p.m. upload. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe and be one.
Peace out, Dorian.
Yeah. All right. See you later, Dorian. Be one.